It will be hard to due to what's then you actually get a very good basketball player. But also
by the end of the high school course, you can get university, but it's
see my first
as you said, sometimes truly crazy. But yeah, most of the times anyway, it's yeah. You mean the boys? I feel that, yeah. Well, here,
on Wednesdays I usually start off because I have 3 parts, so we start with what's called the fire. He's going to introduce that now in a few seconds, and then we have the guest poets now. This time we will
1 2 2 1 1 2 2 1. Anvar Pod. Conastashiv. Spalter Gudi. Ovail. Shockade or Hut. How are we getting on? Welcome to March 25's edition of Ovail, the penultimate event, the 708th.
well, yeah.
Are we disputing that? I know it's the land, but it's the truth nonetheless. Yeah, welcome. Lovely to see everyone here. If we could have it a wished, that would be great, as there is not so many people here. Yet. But we will start things anyway. We'll get things going. Just in case anybody hasn't been here before, I'll just give a quick rundown of how things are going to run. So we've just had a lovely series of poetry films for the last 45 minutes from the Ovail archives. We're going to now have the 5-word challenge, which is a literature challenge that I'll explain in a minute. Then we're going to have 2 guest poets, one online and one here in person, and then we're going to have an open mic at the end. So yeah, just to explain the open mic, also to explain the 5-word challenge for anybody who hasn't partaken in said event before. What's going to happen is you're going to get 5 words from the audience, and then you'll be given 15 minutes to go away and
Do we have to go away?
do a piece of. You can go away in particular, Paul. You can go far away. Nah. You don't have to go anywhere that far away. You can just go to your own thoughts, say, to your personal space, your own bubble, and you can write a piece of literature that contains the 5 words, and when you are finished, the mic will be open. You can come up and read your offering, and the poet contributor who gets the biggest response from the audience will get 2 free books of poems and a drink of their choice from the bar. So without further ado, we have a nice online audience here as well. So we have a nice
They're in here.
amount. Oh yeah, shit. Hello there. Greetings. Very good. So does anybody have a suggestion for a word? Whiskers.
Piss.
Say that again.
Piss.
Piss. So we have whiskers and
We
piss.
have exacted from Pam. EXACTED.
Whiskers, piss, exacted,
Yes, exacted.
gentle,
We have amplify from 5.
nice. You can take it up. You can take it up with Rabinho. So we have whiskers, piss, exacted, gentle, amplify.
Can you give a definition of Pam's word?
Is exacted, not extracted?
Exacted. EXACTED.
Exacted.
It's when you get something out of something else. Like I exacted something from something. Like,
That's extracted,
no,
though.
but exacted also.
Yeah, something similar, I think, exactly, yeah.
It's also when you.
Some, like results, maybe. Can be, yeah, like a results. The taxes, maybe, when the.
We have a working definition yet.
We're working on it. We're working on it. That's why they call it a working definition. That's if we're stumped. The whole room full of poets here, and you can't find the definition for exact.
So,
Pam.
here are 2 examples, right? The blackmailers exacted a total of 100,000 from the victims, you know?
Yeah.
To demand something using force or threats, to exact revenge as well.
Yeah. There we go. Nicely done. Nicely done.
Can you repeat them again?
So it's whiskers, piss.
Is it whiskers or whiskers?
Whiskers.
Oh, it's whiskers. No, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So whiskers, piss, exacted, gentle, amplify. Thank you. We got there in the end. Okay, so you now will have 15 minutes to write a poem or a piece of literature. Thanks very much.
welcome. Sounds like Shane McGowan out there. Having a night.
Philosophizing. Trish, there you go.
I don't know, I wouldn't get well.
Trish, how are you?
No, the last one.
I'm just saying, it's an exhibition. When you someone you drawing.
So you have 3 minutes left. Okay, guys. Furious sound of cogs turning in many a mind there. And we are eager to hear what you've all been working on. So, if anybody is ready and willing, we would love to hear your 5-word challenge contribution. Straight out of the blocks, Jeff. Nice. Okay, we'll go online to Jeff Cottrell.
Okay. My cat doesn't take to his new litter box. He'd rather have one that's as gold as Fort Knox. The one that I bought him has such a huge dent that makes him twitch his whiskers in contempt. For days he's exacted his revenge on me by peeing anywhere he's not supposed to pee. He'll piss anywhere except that new litter box. He'll piss on my blankets. He'll piss on my socks. He'll piss on the furniture and anywhere near it. He'll amplify the sound so the neighbors can hear it. He'll piss in the kitchen. He'll piss in the hall. He'll piss it out some and he'll piss it out all. He'll piss on the TV. He'll piss on the floor. He'll piss all the time and then piss even more. He wasn't like this before. He was gentle. But since that new litter box came, he's gone mental. That's it. That's kind of a Dr. Seuss book meets a Little Britain sketch, I think.
Cinnamon bun. How can the lemon juice be so exacted over a cinnamon bun? To amplify the taste, add some sugar. Otherwise, Grandma won't go for a piece. Be kind and gentle with yourself, she used to say. And please, would you shave off those bloody whiskers? Will ya? Thank you. Thanks.
Idle. Try to piss into the cup without wetting your hand. Watch the cat regurgitate fur. Allow the moon amplify your mood. The pain has exacted the pleasure. Take a gentle stroll down memory lane, but do not overstay your welcome. Come home, feel her whiskers tickle your limbs, writing poetry on your skin. Gramagov.
Thank you. Yeah, well, for the first time in a long time, it wasn't poetry that came, so here goes. These words tell the story of Spare Cat. We named him Krishna. Spare Cat was adopted by Merlin. Merlin is our tomcat. First, we thought he was a female, but soon Ray saw the balls. We fed him whiskers and he chose the pink box. Merlin makes sure he gets fed by us daily. In the morning, after his gentle hugs, first thing he steps out to find his pal. Recently, Krishna started marking the whole conservatory stinking of his piss, the trapped heat amplifying its effect. We used to leave the built-up heat into the house to save on heating. None of that now with that tiger smell.
This cat has exacted his boundaries upon all of us. So glad we got him neutered, but we didn't do it in time. Recently, Ray told me that people, in order to stop their male dogs from marking, recently Ray told me that people, in order to stop their male dogs from marking, the man used to pee on the dog. Maybe I need to ask Ray to mark our territory by peeing all around the outside of the conservatory. Anyway, aren't cats just so clean?
Go online to Clive.
Hello. Okay. So, yeah. The man's a moron, and he had it coming to him. Oh yes. He thinks he can bully me because I'm a gentle person who wouldn't harm a fly. Honest. But it's gone on for too long. I exacted revenge in a most satisfying way, which will not only shock him, but can't read my own writing, but teach him never to take the piss out of me again. My action serves to amplify the point that he was messing with the wrong person. I did think of dunking his head in the rancid piss pot he uses because he's too lazy to go to the loo at night. But I realised that meant I'd said piss twice, and that's not a smart move in a 5-word challenge. So I settled for removing the corned beef from his sandwiches and replacing it with Whisker's cat food, thus amplifying the fact that he's a big cowardly pussy. I realise I said amplified twice, but it was my word, so get over yourselves. I hope this wins some sort of award, and he chokes on his sandwiches, not necessarily in that order.
Thank you. The fool. On his whiskers lives lies. It started off as dandruff, but it amplified to a hidden infection. Because he told so many. You'd think someone like that would stink of exactive piss. But no, his whole image contradicts. I'm at a loss. Is he a manipulative genius? A chess player with advancing pawns? It's a pawn with technology now. There we go. Confusing all of us. And everyone said from the start he's a fool. And they say the Joker's a wild card. And life has put him into the shuffle and he's come out on top. Keep your whiskers clean. It's crazy out there. And his world of lies. Sinead.
Buonasera. This is for Luigi Mangione. A scratch of footsteps, a gunshot, and then silence in the bagel-scented air. His whiskers guide him off the main street down piss-stream alleyways, making high-tail lithe leaps over the detritus of the unhoused. Cop cars careening down leafy streets, sirens and open-jawed yowling, like 10 tomcats prowling down at high speed, they amplify then pass. His gentle pace into Central Park, through steel bars in the morning dark, closed-circuit television, beige jacket hooded, smiling with exacted revenge. It is said the United Healthcare meeting still went ahead, Their undead eyes pored over business proposals as if nothing had ever happened. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Alex. So this would be from my cat's perspective about what me and my parents went through with him in the house before he got neutered. This is called Just a Piss Away. This is a tale from before my balls were chopped. So sit and drink and listen up closely. My whiskers were searching for a spot, the perfect spot. Too many places to piss. I need to amplify my bomb of a smell. Which do I choose? Which one would piss off my lovely owners more? The ones who have loved me for 3 years with nothing but gentle touches. Tick, tack, tock. Which place is the lucky one for now? The couch? The wall? Ooh, but my favourite one? The counter. The counter it is. Psst. Aslan! Shouted my owners. Whoops, they are bad. 1 minute later, meow! I exacted my treaties. Did I get them? No, they are still pissed at me.
Whiskers, the cat's humans invested in an electronic cat flap that self-locks at night in an effort to prevent his prowling, his yowling, and the worst of his murdering sprees. Upon finding his E-flap locked, Whiskers mewed and meowed to no avail. Eventually, he exacted his revenge by gently lifting a leg and pissing against the immovable flap, a gushing torrent amplified by the hard surface of shiny new plastic.
There is no better way of revenge than one of these gentle black cats. The welcome of a meowing as you enter your dwelling, the caress of his whiskers on your leg as you walk in, only to find the gift there in the middle of the living room. As rage picks up, it is amplified by the smell of piss to be discovered. And your cat stares, defiant, proud even. You did not share your food this morning. There, the debt has been exacted. You were not Cloud. You were not abandoned. He loves you.
Cork City Library, PM 1:53. A gentle silence. A breeze stirs, as if of its own volition. A book falls from a shelf. Butterflies emerge, fluttering from its pages, settling here, there. The swarm amplifies picograms. Another volume falls. A cat, stark black, yowls as it tumbles from its cardboard binding, whiskers wild as it leaps from shelf to shelf. Books fly, pages spiral, the adventure section suddenly crumbling beneath tentacles, pirate ships, Blue Lagoon, Long John Silver, Quentin Blake, Madame Zeroni fumble in the briny wash. Shelves fall like dominoes. Cthulhu rises, the Iceman is cometh. Worlds collide, taxes exacted on reality. Robin and Watson search for Batman and Holmes together. Fiction has fallen. Sci-fi is next, followed by fantasy. Elves tangled in tauntauns. Elves in Palladian greys and Ents attempt to communicate telepathically. Tenzin Norgay summits the non-fiction section triumphantly. Poetry's a mess, metaphors fighting like similes. The librarians regroup in a corridor, blasters set to hush. A black cat nonchalantly licks itself upon the counter. Here, puss. Piss, piss, piss. It leaps into a slim, handsome volume, some nearby fairy tale, and mischief disappears.
So this doesn't have a title, but just before I want to dedicate this to two people, to Tom, my new flatmate, who is certainly not listening to that, and to Cedric, who saved my life a month ago. It's a gentle step on the linoleum, the one you don't hear. You only make sense of the shadow along the walls, ready to sneak into the kitchen. It's not a cat, it's a panther. A wounded one, a weak one, or at least that's what they say. She's much stronger than meets the eye. If you hurt her, she doesn't take a piece. She simply disappears, whiskers full of frost from the tears. Exhaustion, frustration are real, but it's with a more complete, amplified and renewed joy that she exacts her revenge, ready to kill with kindness. But before the D-Day, but before the D-Day, in the meantime, she rests in silence, enjoying peace in a home where she has space enough to dream and hope for tomorrow.
We'll go online to Pam Campbell next, please.
I miss y'all. Right, here we go. No title here. My best friend and me, our heads close, giggled at things that only we saw as funny until we about pissed our pants. Passed notes across the aisle when whispering got us hit with Mrs. White's plastic bottle. Bottle hit wasn't shame, was more of a badge of honor, tempering a warning to stop whatever foolery we were committing. My best friend worried when dark circles shadowed my eyes, speaking the darkness that the step monster exacted upon me, or showing the sleepless nights of stopping my baby sister's fever moans with minute-long songs and stories I made up until the robin sang his morning song. My best friend worried when she saw my ribs once when we were changing for PE and the bruises I was quick to hide. I hollow laughed my clumsiness, apologizing to furniture, I said. I thumped my thumb down my rib cage. See, I said, I double-checked how many ribs a human body has for that extra credit on last week's science test. She calm gazed me quiet. I drank in her sadness that I could not afford. My best friend and I love softball, always on the same team at PE, she batting after me, bringing me home. She fielded third base, me second base. It was a soft spot in a life made hard. Until one day, Mrs. White called me out in the hall. You and she can't be friends anymore. I just stared. You know, I didn't know. Her gentle voice morphed harsh. You know, with how things are today. I knew sorry. Okay, never mind on that line. The next day, she taught me a cruel lesson. My best friend and I no longer sat across the aisle from each other. She was in the back left corner of the classroom. I was in the right front center. Still, we had the ball field, or so we thought, until the day she made us captains of opposing teams at PE. It was then, in the screaming amplification of quiet softball dirt, I heard the words nigger and nigger lover whispered with each crack of the bat.
very short. Curses with curses, and no tears, neither gentle, meekly, or mildly will I go into that good night. I will piss, rage, exact revenge, survive, till I grow even more whiskers. I will amplify the lights to Las Vegas heights against the dying of the light.
I call this the Great Reveal. Tom was known for his handlebar whiskers. He grew them long to camouflage his overbite, but they only served to amplify his gap-toothed nature. He was a gentle soul with a penchant for hard rock, but he held a very secret tattoo. Nobody got to see it until one day Foxy Sue demanded and obtained, i.e., exacted the truth. Tell me, Tom, what is the big deal? Is it a flower? And where could it be on your person? A rose, maybe? No, said Tom, it isn't a rose. It's one of them ones that makes you piss. That's just above my ass.
My nan used to always say, not advocate, not promote, but kind of just a subtle note dropped into conversation. Should you ever find yourself in such situation, the best way to kill your husband is ground up tiger whiskers. They are poisonous, but leave no trace, allegedly. However, it's not easy. It would take more than a gentle soul to get them exacted from their owner. Perhaps you could sneak up on the creature while it lifted its hind leg to piss on a tree. Or maybe it would be better to softly approach whilst the beast sleeps. I would amplify caution in any scenario and settle on the fact it's better to keep morality intact. Settle for a chat and not kill your husband.
Exact. Any more poems, Eddie? Any more poems coming out of you there? Gonna bring the gavel down now if somebody doesn't start walking up to the mic. Quick style. That'll be online. Well, that's grand because oh, just in there under the wire. Oh.
Okay, then I'm gonna have a bit of fun with you because there's an Australian beer. Can you hear me? Yes. And the Australian beer is titled Piss. So it's an alcohol. So anyway, the title I put to it was Puss, better than any Australian beer. Our cat, Oscar Wilde, jumped on my lap with long white whiskers highlighted by his black fur. He extracted an attention from each member of our family in such a gentle way.
to amplify the meaning of love. With his many purrs, not even 70 cans of piss could give the same thrill.
Any others? I think that'll do us. Fair play. Unreal. Well, I think very productive 15 minutes, I'd say, for people. It was, yeah, really, really good. Makes my job quite difficult now. Yeah, we have to give points where they're due, you know. Points to Sue Blue for the prose. Points to Clive for the meta poetry. His best meta 5-word challenge poetry. Multiple references to the 5-word challenge within his 5-word challenge poem. Catherine Ronan, points for filth. And yeah, I have a little like scoring system here, and it kind of became futile because it's all kind of the same. But there was a top 2, and purely on the reaction and duration of the reaction from the audience, the winner of this month's 5-word challenge is Cathal Holden.
Yo, thanks lads. I usually try to fit them all into one sentence, which I realised today is a mistake. 2 from the end, well sure. You're lucky now I've cracked it, like. It's been a while since I've landed the 3 point, alright, like.
Hey, good man.
Cork City Library, PM, 1:53. A gentle silence. A breeze stirs. As if of its own volition, a book falls from a shelf. Butterflies emerge, fluttering from its pages, settling here, there. The swarm amplifies picograms. Another volume falls. A cat, stark black, yowls as it tumbles from its cardboard binding, whiskers wild as it leaps from shelf to shelf. Books fly, pages spiral, the adventure section suddenly crumbling beneath, tentacles, pirate ships, a blue lagoon, Long John Silver, Quentin Blake, Madame Zeroni fumble in the briny wash. Shelves fall like dominoes, Cthulhu rises, the Iceman is cometh, worlds collide, taxes exacted on reality, Robin and Watson search for Batman and Holmes together. Fiction has fallen, sci-fi is next, followed by fantasy. Ents entangled in tauntauns. Elves and Pleiadian greys attempt to communicate telepathically. Tenzin Norgay summits the non-fiction section triumphantly. Poetry is a mess. Metaphors fighting like similes. The librarians regroup in a corridor. Blasters set to hush. A black cat nonchalantly licks itself upon the counter. Here, puss. Piss, piss, piss. It leaps into a slim, handsome volume, some nearby fairy tale, and mischief disappears. Thank you.
Thank you, Cathal, and thank you to all our contributors to the 5-word challenge. It was really fantastic. It was lots of really, really strong work there, and congratulations to all of you. So we're going to take 10 minutes, and we'll be back with more fun, more poetic entertainment. All right, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Sort of, okay, cool. If you want to, it's probably the same general. This is just like this is the same as what we said.
Refer to their contribution over the last couple of years.
Absolutely.
Doing what they can to maintain it. You know, and that really.
Yeah, it's important to
knowledge of it. It's huge. Massimo, Jeff Cottrell, and then like during the pandemic and everything, like people from Argentina, so we could just give that a quick acknowledgement, and also like let it be known that it's like, you know, yeah, like that. It's the resources question really at the moment, and we will look into it. We will, like you say, try and leave it on that note, but also give them a good thank you, and also not create too much expectation around it.
Yeah. One thought is that we should get Paul just to type the email address into the chat. Our available.poetry@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Because it'll be quite difficult to catch it otherwise.
And small.
Yeah. Cool, yeah, that sounds good.
Hey girl.
Hi. Are you coming outside or are you working?
No, I'll come inside and say, would you like a pint?
I might put my name on the list, is there?
By the way, just a quick sub-announcement. I have the open mic list here if any of you would like to sign it.
Let me know when it's good for me.
Yeah, do you want to come up and make that announcement, or do you want me to make the announcement? No.
I can make it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll just call you up. There's a good few announcements, so I'll call you up while I'm making them. Yeah, if you want to just hang. No, it's not a theme. I'll explain to you now. So that part of the evening, right, is a 5-word challenge. So you get 5 words from the audience. So that section of the evening works basically 5 words from the audience. People can volunteer with people writing home. And then they come up and say them like that in that order, whenever they're ready. And then the next part of the evening, the guests, and then the final part of the evening is an open mic. So if you want to, the whole night is it's just, we ended up with a lot of homes where actually history was one of the words, you know, so there's not actually a theme, a frequently.
In the beginning,
Someone left, drop that in for yours. Yes, fine. Thank you.
I've been copying them out from memory downstairs. I have them now. last one's going to be. And that's going to be. When we got Evans, and this is great. So you, when changes you get here, no, yes, we must start putting blood in this. The new collaboration from right to one line, yes, that's it, yes. Yes, we can, I think we can tomorrow, on the same page, online there, and then next page. This idea instead, I want to do something that funny and easy, not too much, with the Who's it for? Who's it for, Alex?
Oh, thanks a lot. Okay. There's loads of them. How are we all getting on? Sorry to silence the nice hum of conversation going on, but we must plough forward. I have a good few announcements to make here, so I would appreciate your attention. So yeah, just to say at the start, Ovale aims to maintain a safe space for writers and all attendees. We subscribe to the Arts Council's Equality, Human Rights and Diversity policy, and we ask participants to report any offensive behaviour to Ovale. Please be aware that this event is recorded and will be available to revisit as an MP3 podcast or on video via Ovale's website, social media and Vimeo channels. And now, a rather big announcement for anybody who wasn't here over the last couple of months. For our next event on the 14th of April, Ovale's 18th anniversary and ultimate event, before Ovale Gabail takes the reins, we will feature winners and shortlisted poets from the 5-Word International Poetry Competition, along with contributors to 5 Words Volume 18. My Roman numerals is a little bit slow, but there you go. Volume 18, naturally enough, as the 18th anniversary. And then the open mic will be dedicated to other poets' poetry. And now Sue actually would like to make a quick announcement about an event going on Sunday.
Thanks for that. So we have visitors coming from Coventry, and they are here. They are from the Coventry Association of International Friendship, which means they're for the twinning organisation. They're interested in activating the twinning in general, not just between Coventry and Cork. And that's why they're here. And we thought we'd bring them a little lineup of the poets that have been to Coventry as part of the Twin Coventry Exchange. So if there's anyone that hasn't received an email from me that I might have missed, that would be interested in participating in that event, it is on Sunday, this coming Sunday, 16th, in the afternoon, 2:30 to 4:30. So we have a couple of hours. And Stan will MC it, as well as participate, I guess. And we will have the visitors from Coventry there, hopefully also joined by their Lord and Lady Mayoress, who are here at the same time. So it'll be kind of a half-open event. If anyone would like to be there and join in from this circle here, approach me, please. And we won't stuff it to complete publicity, but if anybody would like to strew in a poem, then they can as well, obviously. obviously, and it's always lovely to meet people from Coventry and activate exchanges like that. So Sunday, 2:30 p.m. in the Eye. It's spelled A-Y-E, the Eye, on Anglesey Street. To check out myself where exactly that is.
Yeah,
Okay,
there's an art stack kind of design outside.
Okay, okay, lovely. And we will be downstairs somewhere because we have a walking impaired person with us. So, yeah, anyone interested in being there, let me know, please.
Nice one, Sue. Yeah, it's a really nice connection we have to Coventry, so it'll be very nice to rekindle that on Sunday. Also, forthcoming on the Monday is on St. Patrick's Day. There's an event called Proclaim Poetry on in Mayo. It's an anti-fascist poetry event hosted by the Choke Collective, and there'll be 4 guests and an open mic, and it's on from 4:30 on Patrick's Day, if anybody is interested. We would like to really thank everybody who has kindly offered us donations. The donation jar is there underneath the horse's head. There's also PayPal donations that are available online through the live poetry stage on the website or via the contact page at ovail.ie. Yeah, Ovail really appreciates very much all the donations that come into it, and it makes up a, it's a really important asset. Now, just a slightly sort of melancholy announcement, you could say. We just wanted to make all of our online community, this goes directly to our online community, and just to first off say, it has been an incredible experience to have your contributions to Ovail over the past number of years. Currently, from May onwards, as Ovail Gabail sort of take the reins, as was said, Ovail Gabail are not in a position to maintain the online element of the event at this moment, due to a lack of resources and capacity, but that is currently the state of play, and we are working to develop ways in which that may change. We do really want to stay in touch with our online community, and we are working on ways to include the community into the future. So it's just a bit of that's sort of the status of the situation at the moment, and like we say, due to a lack of capacity and not a lack of will. But to join our mailing list for this new event or the continuation of this event, please email ovailgabail.poetry@gmail.com to be on our mailing list, and we will stay in touch with you into the future. Paul, you might put that email address into the chat if you get a chance there, so that people will be able to have it. But yeah, just for the moment anyway, for this chapter, we really want to say a huge thank you to everybody who has tuned in online over the last number of years. It's been absolutely incredible. It's been incredible to meet you, to have this connection to your work, and it's been a real honor for us that you would have the interest and the enthusiasm and the impetus to come and contribute your work here in this room, even though you were all over the world, So yeah, we hope to maintain the relationship into the future. Thank you. And now, without further ado, I'm going to introduce the guests. And this first guest, it gives me a great pleasure to introduce her because she's a long-term friend of Ovail, a very, very good friend of Ovail. She was on the board of Ovail when she left Ireland to return to the United States. Emily Davis Fletcher earned her BFA in Creative Writing from Stevens College, her MA in Women's Studies from NUIG, and her MFA in Creative Writing from Hollands University. Her poetry has been published in Tinderbox, Crannog Magazine, The Irish Examiner, and The High Window, among other journals and anthologies. She has taught creativity and poetry workshops at elementary schools, assisted living communities, domestic violence shelters, as well as at the University of South Carolina, Beaufort, the Patrick Conroy Literature Center, and Stevens College. Most recently, she was a finalist for the Brett Elizabeth Jenkins Poetry Prize, the 2024 Breakout Prize, and the Letter Review Prize in Poetry. Way back in 2009, Emily found Ovale when she did not know how to become a poet. The answer turned out to be a simple practice every Monday night, ascend the hayloft's chatty stairs to sit or stand among a family of poets and be filled with poetry until she couldn't hear the fear as loudly, and she began saying yes to opportunities, starting with the chance to flex her voice on the open mic. In this way, countless poets have emerged through Ovale. Thank you, Paul, Rosie, and my poetry family at Ovale. Without further ado, it's great to see you, Emily. Nice young girl, and take it away.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here, and thank you to Paul for inviting me, because it has been like a long time dream come true to be a featured poet here, and to read with James Harpur too, such a talented poet and gentleman. And maybe the theme tonight that is unknown but exists is that this is a night of boarding school poets, because both James and I went to boarding school. And reading that about leaving Ireland in 2015, I'm like, why did I do that again? No idea why I left, but I'm here in the States, and it's such an honor to be here with you all. This last year has been a big transition, been a lot of transitions around loss, and my mom passed away last spring, and then this coming spring I'm going to have my first child. So the poems I've selected sort of bounce around and blend those themes of like loss and grief, hope, rebirth, looking back. So just to give you an idea of where we're going here. This first poem is titled Sonogram Vision. Somehow moonlight in my womb catches you, breath on a mirror, breach, feet pressing craters on my bladder, wand on my belly, sniffs out your right arm and right hand and a calligraphy of smoke. Behind my eyes appear two gibbous moons, the right shoulders of a 10-year-old boy, arms missing, swallowed by bombs in Gaza. Arms grow out of heart cells, the wand holder says, as she searches for your left arm in so much gray rubble and finds a fist. Open, I pray. I must know how many fingers your heart has sprouted. 1, 2, 3, 4, thumb. Wow, 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 called your heart, echoing my thoughts at 150 beats per minute last month. Now, whoa, 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 are you less in awe? Your skull and profile grins. Scratch my chin, mama, I hear the other boy plead. Please, not now. I'm looking for my son's arm. Come to me when my love does not hold my hand, his eyes full of hope. Come to me when I'm alone, driving a road I know like the back steps of my teeth, when I'm at a computer and can send money from within my country that sends arms. How did you even find me? In love, I cease to exist. Dry my eyes, mama. I can't. I'm a tree. My branches full of tinsel bones, and my boy lying on his arm. Finally, his left arm, a wick of dynamite lit from within. Thanks. And I should say, If it's up to me, he will get a good Irish name, Asheen. If I have anything to say about it, which I should have, especially after the birth. All right, wasp medicine. This is something from my childhood. I have like a series of poems all about the wasp and how that the wasp changes like symbolism and meaning throughout the series, from like something to be afraid of and represented my stepdad or my anger, my mom's, and then becomes like a symbol of like resilience, transformation. This is just one part of that much longer poem called Wasp Medicine. You stumble through my bedroom, air made choppy by these hands, trembling under a pale blue blanket. I hold breath like holding in an answer and try slipping out of this house through a slit in my body. You interrupt, tap, 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 insist you're heard, looking for a way out too. Knock fake wood panels, peck yourself hello, goodbye in the mirror. Pretend to ignore me. I should be at school, where Miss Benson erases a new vocab word. Incognito floats into my hair as white dust. For once, I don't duck or hide from the way you beat walls, glass, your body. Tap, tap, tap. You come round when it's quiet, not like those June bugs and moths who come in with cops, stomping through their questions, calling mom ma'am, as in ma'am, we ain't gonna tell you again. Sit down and shut up. They ignore me, keep their eyes down, look sorry as they wait for Jerry to tie his boots and pat his back like he's done a good job. Come on, buddy. You're a wasp, a loose nail. Why don't you stagger in on the crash of his hammer into the face of both TVs? I know you could land on his hand holding scissors over my sister Laura's head and my head, and sting his other hand that locks mom on the other side of a door. You could churn an angry bullet in his mouth before he spits the word bitches, but you don't. I come closer, not too close, stand in the middle of a brown carpet to watch you crawl up the window. Your legs tickle the ribs of his barn. Your stinger drags across a mud-chipped sow, and you rise out of his rusted burn barrel that he feeds plastic just to piss off mom, but she's pretty much blind to it since he's burned her address books, old letters, Papa Ben's baby photo. Your body, your beating body is a search for a weakness, an opening. If I extend my arm, I could graze a wing and then maybe touch the first wasp that welcomed us here that May 2 years ago. There's no escaping. You were a warning bolt. My sister's scream when we walked around his pool's rim. I never saw you. Swallowed by her hair, I reached for whatever I could find. A screwdriver. I didn't know what made her scream. I'd never seen a wasp before. We lived in St. Louis on Bloom, where I accidentally stepped on the baby tongues of slugs outside our red door. I even tried to save a worm from a robin. But that was before Jerry. He knew a wasp before he saw one and pushed Laura. Her hair spread like branches of a winter elm. In 6 feet of fluid sky, she was still, silent, could have been dead. Clouds caught in her hair, and you, seed of lightning, nowhere to be seen. Thank you. This next poem is titled Bedside Jeweler's Loop. I didn't know what that was, jeweler's loop was till a few years ago. So just to give you an idea, if you don't know, it's just that small magnifying glass the jewelers use to look at like gems and precious stones. Bedside jeweler's loop. In bed, touching. I want your umami tongue sliding up my wrist, my teeth helping your zipper retreat. But you take my hand, weigh it down under a nickel-sized magnifying glass, and your gaze. This is sacred, I remind myself, the way a diamond feels. Self-conscious, this close, my hand in aging diary. Am I ready for you to read what I don't want to face? Am I? My mom's hand from 20 years ago. How I noticed for the first time her square palm was like mine when we held hands in bed. One blessed night, my stepdad was a trucker. What is sacred? Your face so close to my fingers, you must smell the elephant garlic we undressed tonight. Under my bitten nails, my clitoris, shrimpy. This morning I went to the well of myself with an image of you, my love on top. Now you've landed on the planet of my eye. I almost pull away. Too close, I scream inside. How absurd. I've glanced over my shoulder to watch you stuff yourself inside me, a spaceship you enter through a mouse hole. I'm afraid you'll see my wrinkles and worse, the ways I try to hide them, a sediment of creams. Of course you've noticed. When? I'm not brave enough to ask. What if you say the day we met, or sadder yet, what wrinkles? Green, you say. You find my brown irises flecked with moss. I never knew. Show me more. I take your jeweler's loop, hold it to your eye. I know this place. Home of fairies, my mom named a ring of cedar trees. As a child, I went looking and found fur and bones. Is this why you've always been familiar? I could kiss you, but first, I rest in the sling of your skin, between thumb and forefinger. To touch, you're a smooth ray of aloe, but under this lens, a desert. I lie in your cracks, panting. It's dirty, you warn, when I take hold of your hair. Good. Let me see the grease of you. Black as creation. I tremble, raising a single strand, the antenna of a wasp I shook in a jar as a child to watch it break. It wouldn't break. I want to chew the buttons off your shirt. The first time you undressed, for me, you stopped to confess, I'm insecure about this. So I kiss those shadows of healing. On your chest, this is not a mole, but a tropical island where your 3 hermigos sprout like palm trees. I bend their hot tips to meet like wires. My engine revs. I fall back into your lap, laughing. Let's keep going. I have so much to show and tell. Look in my belly button. The girl I was lives in that open cave, wears sweaters of Lent, remembers knocking at mom's door. No answer. My old fear of closed doors makes me cry at the thought of you leaving or not answering my call, or any wall between us, even glass. What is sacred, I remind myself. Up my nose is a swamp, not a clean, organized kitchen you'd prefer. I bury ugly things here, but still they float like gators with butcher knives stuck in their heads. Here I am waking and falling back to sleep as Danny Boy smothers mom's sobs, some nights after Uncle Jeff's death. Here I'm waking and falling asleep to my sister crying. Her fiance pushed her out, then locked the door and shot a bullet through the roof of his mouth. Will I sleep through your cries? I have such good practice. If we listen, we could hear the blades of our pubic hair click together. I've heard ears are the dirtiest. Grandma Leela would wash potatoes out of my ears, and I'd stare at the crack in her tongue and wonder if all liars have cracks in their tongues. Do you see all the candles in my ears I lit for a shower with you? No, not for sex, for praying. Thank us, thank us, thank us. Thank you. This next poem, this was written during COVID, and it seemed like it's sort of captures that essence of like beginnings, sparking new possibilities, which I think is like very fitting for this time with O Vale and transitioning into O Vale, Go Vale, which is I like that new title. But when the cord that ties us stretches beyond our vision and rises up in the road like a cobra, ready to spit at the wind that will carry it away, let it be used for good. A tight rope for ants to carry blossoms over busy roads, a double knot in old sneakers hanging from a power line so that when they fall, they hit the ground running together, a bungee for baby birds, fiber on a frayed cable of moonlight pulling the last ferry, a stitch in a patch of sunglow. Let it be found and spark memories of the gold thread of love. This is a longer poem about my mom when she had Alzheimer's, and she just loved O Vale. She was a huge fan, and she's one of the reasons that I came out of my shell from that shy girl in the back, the very back under the map, and became part of the community. On the edge of mother and child. I wish I had inhaled love to all the cells of my body, breathed deeply to my belly, and exhaled morning doves from every tree before I entered the non-emergency medical transport van to wait for you. No, let me go further back. I wish I had tapped at your door, a mourning dove's heavy-hearted whistle, signaling rain and a promise of new waters. I can barely believe. It's a beautiful day in South Carolina, according to recordings when I call about your Medicaid. Can you hear that, Mom? It's a beautiful day. We share a wall here at my sister's house, and this room I step into doesn't feel like yours, except the smells, your straw hat unraveling, smoke from cigarettes you bummed behind our backs, bits of the past in plastic tubs, sometimes stale piss, brightly serious is Amber's ability to clear negative energy in jars hidden behind your bed. I wish I'd entered slowly, walked on my toes, careful to find you still dreaming, to see the shadow of something rare and wild. Your face peaceful, so peaceful I brush your bangs off your forehead, touch peace. That would have nourished the child in us, the child in me that wants to stay in my room, daydreaming about my future soulmate, doesn't want to wake you for a neurology appointment or make you oatmeal. The child in you that wants to keep dreaming, who screams, I'm not going. I could have sat on the edge of your bed and watched you dream. That would have nourished the mother in us, the mother in me that yells, wake up, we're leaving in an hour, and stirs my heartaches into your breakfast. The mother in you that yells, shut the door, and rolls over to worry. What if I'd let you dream a little longer? Comb tangles from your hair with my long fingers you admire. What if I'd noticed how light catches in the ends of your hair like mine? You never liked how fine your hair is. Baby fine, you call it. What if I saw the glinting web of a golden orb weaver on your pillow? I'm such a child at this point, I don't worry about waking you. I slip my hand under your head. I've never felt you here at the base of your skull, the root of so much trouble. I wiggle my fingers to your scalp and those bones that feel like budding wings, occipital points, and massage in a spiral of time. Can you feel that, Mom? Tension, no time, leave your body. With my free hand, I circle your face, the way you traced my baby brother's face, little Jeff's, more than 20 years ago, with your index finger and half whisper and coo, the way mourning doves do. The moon goes round and round. He has pretty eyes, pretty nose, pretty mouth. Wake up to this memory of your son and the reality of your daughter, feeling through your web, releasing tension. Let go. No longer is your face the face you thought was too long. Your face is the moon. Mom, I weigh the moon, your head in my hands. Which is heavier, your dreaming head or waking head? You have more locked in gray plastic tubs and dreams. Your brothers are still alive, Papa Ben alive. You have all your teeth, our house on Bloom. You walk through your Grandma Younker's bungalow in U City, the big brick one, and Grandma Jetty's itty bitty one. You do grand jatas with Uncle Jeff through London Gardens, and George Harrison walks up and plucks a bouquet from your hands at Cracker Box Palace. There is no end to your dreams. I wish I could hold all your past. The present is so heavy. Place your head back on the pillow and ask about your dreams, since that is what a child and a mother would ask. You say you were dancing with a young man. What did you wear? You can't remember, and this reminds me that we must be at memorial by 1. But the child in me knows we have all the time in the world for dancing. You taught me to turn my toes out, bend at the knees, count in French, 1, 2, 3, before jumping into your arms. My mother is back from dancing like when you came home from a Bob Dylan concert, early in the morning, but too late to make us pancakes. You invited Bob Dylan for breakfast you never made, and I named my Ken doll Bob Dylan. What's this young man's name? I ask. Not in a motherly way, worried about your safety, but like your daughter who wants you to stay away from men like Jerry. I never saw you dance with my stepdad except in a survival ballet of blood and screaming. The child in me can't unsee. Now when I sit on the edge of mother and child, I hear those doves unpacking clouds with sad talk from their mother of pearl throats. They call down rain, and I'm afraid we'll be late. Afraid I've already missed the chance to hold you. I never asked if you wanted to go. How would a child ask? You want more sky in your head? We can't listen now. The medical transport van will drive off. We'll miss the doctor, miss learning how to keep the space between your brain and skull from growing.
We have time there for about one more, Emily. Thanks.
Yeah, I just have one more short one. This is titled First Wonder. When you reach for me, you offer a secret. A small sorrel mole in the crook of your arm. Mo, Mo, you let me touch. Mo, Mo, I live, circling a moon and day, sun and night. Thank you.
Emily, thank you so much. That was really, really profound, very moving reading, and huge congratulations to be with child, and we wish you all the best with that process. Next, it's a real pleasure as well. This is to introduce our next guest. He has these beautiful collections behind me that are. It's a collaboration with an artist called Polo Coman, and he was showing it to me a while ago, and it's really, really, really cool. It's really, really beautiful book, so you should ask him about that. But it gives me great pleasure to introduce James Harpur. He's published 9 books of poetry, including his latest, The Gospel of Gargoyle, Eblena Press 2024, which is the one I was talking about there. A poetic drama set on the roof of the Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris and featuring the figures of a poet and an animate gargoyle who knows the secret of who or what started the fire of Notre Dame. He has won various awards and prizes, including the UK National Poetry Competition, the Michael Hartnett Prize, and the Vincent Buckley Award. His debut novel, The Pathless Country, Cinnamon 2021, set in Galway, Limerick and London in the years leading to the 1916 Rising, won the J.G. Farrell Prize and was shorted for the John McGahern Prize. He's a member of AS Donna and he lives in West Cork. And if you could give us a big Ovale welcome to James Harpur, please.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Kieran. I'll just try and get this microphone right. Is that about right? Yeah? Is that good? It's such a pleasure to be back here. I was here, been twice before, once in 2008, 17 years ago, when we were all different people. And I just want to pay tribute to Paul for being the driving force of this wonderful gathering every month, and to keep it going for so long and with such vigor and energy, and providing such a wonderful outlet for the poets of Cork is quite something. So I just wanted to say that. Pleasure also to be reading with Emily. I bumped into Emily. Is she still online? She is. Oh, good. I better be polite then. Which is no effort whatsoever. Emily was a wonderful person to meet at the Egg Shop many times, and it was always a joyful experience. I thought her poems extremely moving, and congratulations, Emily, on the expected arrival. I'm going to be reading probably 4 poems. I actually have to pick up my partner from the airport at about 11 o'clock, I think. So if I dash off, it's not because of anything but that. Yeah, thank you. This is a strange book. It came out of COVID, but like I think Emily mentioned COVID. I had these very strange dreams, and one of them I woke up with a line in my head, which was, "Poets do not come here anymore." And I couldn't think what it was referring to, but it felt very significant. And a few weeks later, I had another dream, a flying dream, which I have occasionally, and I ended up on the top of Notre Dame Cathedral. And I saw this gargoyle who turned round and said, "Poets do not come here anymore." And it was the start of a series of dreams and meditations in which this book unfolded. So it's kind of a story. There's a bit of a whodunit aspect to it. The poet in the book is obsessed with finding out who or what started the fire of Notre Dame in 2019. And the gargoyle thinks that the poet can help him or it escape its stony shell through works of imagination. So they have a sort of strange companionship. So I'll go just give you a taster. It's a difficult book to take extracts from, and I also have to do a sort of voice of a gargoyle, and I can't act. So I'll just sort of go down a notch and sound slightly more growly, I hope. So this is a poem called Burnings. It has two parts. The second one is a sonnet. And Gargoyle tells poet about the true story of a French satirical poet called Claude Le Petit, who lived in the 17th century, who was a scandalous poet, blasphemer. And Claude Le Petit's friend Jacques Chausson was openly gay at a time when it was very dangerous to be so. And the second part is actually a translation of a sonnet by Claude Le Petit about his friend. But it makes you very grateful to live in the 21st century. So this is called Burnings. Evenings were stretching Lent, when once again I had the dream and rose above the college to the firmament. And looking down, I saw an earthly cosmos, the galaxy of Paris, its planets rising up as glowing domes. I landed on the roof, and there he was, watching the canal calm river flow. He creaked around, grin bulbous. I waved, shouting I was dying to know how fire broke out in Notre Dame. I heard it was an accident, I said, a cigarette or some electrical fault. He looked at me and slowly blinked, as if he thought I was completely mad. Accident, my poet friend? Does fire begin by accident? Does sea begin by accident? Does wind begin by accident? There might be nothing you call God in this world, but I have learned there's a malevolence in this universe who likes to change our lives at whim. He cackled to himself as memory stirred. I lived under Louis Le Soleil. I was a beggar then and saw the plight of Claude Le Petit, poet, scorner, prince of outcasts. I heard the gossip, how he left his window wide and wind wafted papers off his bureau, blowing them outside. Ah, see them floating to the ground at the feet of a passing priest. The priest picks up a leaf and reads satanic script, dismissing the Blessed Mary's maidenness. His smirking, dimple deep, now disappeared. The scoundrel is put on trial. The jury's not too long in spitting out its venom. First, they hack his hand off, pour encourager les poètes to behave themselves. And though his stump can't write, they strangle him in case his tongue might twitch. Then burn him in the Place de Grève, the killing place for heretics, blasphemers. He paused and raised his head to sniff the air, as if to savor the memory of smoke. Did the wind begin by accident? Mais non. Malevolence birthed it, but Claude Le Petit knew the risks. The year before, his fellow farceur Jacques Chausson was liking males too much. He also burned, and not by accident. And little the grief for him, the singed scent of sod's flesh is the same as the martyrs. Chausson, from the French of Claude Le Petit, in memory of Claude Le Petit, Jacques Chausson. My friends, They burnt poor Chausson, that rascal with his trademark curly mane, who won eternal fame by how he passed on. Nobody will die like that again. He sang his funeral dirge without a care. Beg your pardon. He sang his funeral dirge without a care for life, slipped on the sulphur-stiffened shirt, and from the cold inferno of the pyre he looked death in the eyes without a stir. As his confessor, clutching a crucifix, implored him to save his soul, in vain. The scoundrel fell amid the flaming sticks and turned his backside to the heavens. In death, as in life, outrageous to the last, he gave a final airing to his arse. So Gargoyle keeps pestering Poet to recite poems at him in order to try and activate his imagination and therefore escape his carapace. And one of the poems that Poet reads to him is about a panther that Poet sees in the Jardin des Plantes, a little park in Paris where there's a sort of a small zoo which has a huge, large cage with a panther in it. And the German poet Rilke saw probably the great-great-grand panther of the one that the poet sees back in the early 1900s. So this is called Panther God. It takes a while before I see him behind the shimmer of wide glass that glances off your glance as soon as look at it. High up, lying on a step of concrete beside an indoor tree trunk, he's folded up his life, his padded paws tucked in beneath the musculature of the Sphinx, the ripple of his sandy pelt smudged with sooty blotches, sealed into a velvet of perfection. The slits of his eyes have sunk within the heavy pentangle of his head. He's in a predator's sleep and dreaming of the plains of northern China. And then, as if he's seen a thought scrambling for cover, his eyes have switched awake. He turns his head, and in a lightning jag, we are locked in a groove of power, eye to eye, until I blink, as if bolting for my life. Thank you. Just two more. This is a short one, shortish. On another occasion, Poet flies in a dream to Notre Dame, and he sees in the muck and dirt on the roof some scratchings. And when he stares at the scratchings a bit more closely, it looks like writing, as if done by Gargoyle's claw. So Poet writes down what he sees in his notebook and considers it at a later date, and it looks like a sort of holy scripture, which Poet calls the Gospel of Gargoyle. Blessed are the rooftops, for they bear the weight of gargoyles. Blessed are the gutters, for they are the rivers of gargoyle. Blessed are the poets who believe, gargoyle shall be their friend. Blessed is the moonless night, for it hides the plotted path to heaven. Blessed is the wind, for it blows chances across the way. Blessed is the chimney smoke, for it is the incense of the earth. Blessed are the dogs that roam, for they are the preachers of Gargoyle. Blessed are the ugly, for they shall remain ugly. For in the world of Gargoyle there is no ugliness or beauty. All are equal under the stars. Thank you very much indeed. It's unusual to get clapped after every poem. I think it's an Ovail tradition. It's lovely. I haven't had this since about 10 years ago when I was here last. So I'm going to end with a poem called Shadow. Thanks a lot for coming along this evening. It's the last poem in the book, and so it misses out a huge amount, i.e. the climax of the book, which takes place during a thunderstorm over Paris, after which both poet and gargoyle become radically and irrevocably changed. But in this last poem, poet is discovered that his dreams of flying to Notre Dame have dried up. Shadow. Weeks after my last flight, I stood by the Seine and gazed at Notre Dame beneath a pure blue sky, remembering the scaffolding that had encased it after the Great Fire. A geometric palace of iron perpendiculars, of rods and bolted joints, all glinting in the sun, lines of golden lines, and layers of platforms, all cosseting the dame, restoring her to life. The topmost rods appearing to support a cathedral of air. I headed back to college, and on the Rue des Bernardins, the one-legged beggar was still sitting there, the pavement running up to him like a gleaming carpet. I had my money ready, and drawing near, I plunged like a heron after a fish and dropped 2 coins. His leonine face lit up. His smile, his merci, merci, detained me long enough for him to reach and shake my hand. He caught me by surprise. Perhaps he'd been a veteran in some war or just unlucky. I felt within that touch, that big tobacco hand, a transference of such warmth, I found it hard to break our grip. He looked momentarily sad, perhaps deflated, that I could go off to another life beyond his reach. I don't know why, I blurted out to him, in the land of the gargoyle, the beggar is the prince, then walked uphill towards the afternoon, his blessings fading in my ears. I glanced behind me and glimpsed my shadow, light and nimble and black against the shining pavement. It seemed to have 2 shapes I hadn't seen before, protruding from my shoulders like long, dark wings. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
Thanks very much, James. And yeah, just to say, you should try and catch James before he has to leave now here pretty soon. So This book is on a special price of €10 tonight, which is like really big discount that James has very kindly offered O'Vale, and it's a limited edition and it's signed by both the artists. So it's signed by the visual artist Paul O'Comwan and it's also signed by James, and he has copies of them here. And if you would keep one for me, that would be great. And yeah, just a huge thank you again to both our readers, to Emily Davis Fletcher for a really powerful reading, and to James Harpur. Thank you so much. We'll be back in 10 minutes, guys, and there's still some space on the open mic, so come and talk to me. Rose.
Thank you so much for wanting to be here. And I love your tests, so that was an extra treat.
Rosie. Yeah, you bring back on a nice initiative. It's the gargoyle.
Oh yeah.
Do you know how we enjoyed that the Panther Call? I recognize people's panel
Did you have the notes? I think you said that to me before. I'll copy it was sort of late. Exactly the same. I'll
I know the last yeah, but I like the visual part of
read very well. How do you study? How do you study?
And we're doing these bones at the moment, but I think they're quite ready. Whatever one you I saw you on TV. This is a great place. Very good. Did you? Yeah. Very relaxed. Really relaxed. You know what?
This is supposed to be on the title page. I can do it on the hot title. No, I was just pointing at the page right Sorry, do I get three Richard stories? Sorry? I have one more.
Sorry, I won't compete for it. I know it's
So last have another one here. It's my reading copy.
Yeah.
I think you're reading that. How much is it? 10. Yeah, I have change.
Okay. Yeah. The link road, yeah.
There might be one. Do you want to sign it or would you just like it like that?
Either, that's fine.
Okay, well, I'll leave it. Unless
That's
you
a
want me
very
to
long
dedicate
list.
it to something like the show.
Yeah,
Okay. What's her name? Jessie. Jessie. With an E at the end. Yeah. Yeah. There you go. I don't actually know. I will. I'm reading it frankly. Yes, 2 years ago. Thank you very much. Should I sign it to you? It's with the O-N, isn't it? No, CIA or A father. Okay. Thank you. You very much need this.
See you in April. Huh? Happy days. Mr. Gordon, I'm drinking age, so 18 years. How great would that be? Could be road worker. Are you from Cork?
You know what it's like when you're tired. You have to
Thank you so much. Always. Sorry we kept you so late. It's been perfect why not? Well, yeah, don't get the money back. Just send me a text. I'll be there, yeah. As long as the car goes to launch Tuesday evening, it's latest book. Is that maybe I'm wrong. I have to double check that. Is it gallery or is it it's on Tuesday evening. Not tomorrow. What's that? No, next week, Tuesday. Yeah, we'll definitely be in touch. Have a nice time. So I need to, yeah. To put in the three online folks in between, you know? Nice. And Clive, come in here.
So how did you end up here? Just in this pub. Oh well, I saw the.
So what we have so far anyway, if there's more I'll let you know. Cool. Oh yeah, do you not think about somebody on the street, sorry, just create a Facebook page just to begin with, like, people with
and then have an event going from there. It wouldn't have to be live. But we're looking into a couple of different options. It's just like, I mean, it's just, we're feeling that out.
Yeah. But I mean, streaming can be quite simple. Once you do it, you don't have to save it, so you don't have to you have a page, then it's just ordinary
but then like how is it like you're going to we're trying to still like work it back way so they want to have input and
that's another level.
yeah, exactly.
In the meantime,
you can still like keep it on. Definitely, yeah, we're not trying to find that out. We might not see it.
Basic Facebook.
Keep it as far as it happens.
And it's all recorded then as well. You can record it. You can archive.
Yeah. I think I would like do something more personal. I think rather than video, just give it to them. But we'll see. We'll have to have a chance because I would like it existing on Facebook as there is false questions around that. Being up there, there's questions around that.
Oh, the grotesque. Especially like the story of Notre Dame. And the old one, of course. Don't pass that. My opinions on that. Yeah. Sure.
We don't have the capacity to do it right now, but we are looking at ways of keeping it sort of alive and whatever we can do. At the moment, it's not a guarantee. When I so that's why, yeah, that's why it's not going to be like a seamless transition into the online life. Nice, that's great. That's great.
Once you've said that, you should stick to it.
Yeah, no, that's true.
I'm lucky that there's so many well, you've asked me already. I went to the first one, so I was like, maybe later. I might consider it back with rap. Exactly.
Hello everyone, and welcome back. We have a nice good full open mic list here, and we're looking forward to hearing you all. Yeah, to start off the open mic, we're going to have Jessie Flora.
There's an oasis at the end of my earth. Not barred, not exclusive. It does not assault me with a broom. It does not spray me with pesticides. When I get there, I see a mirage of myself serving drinks. You look parched, he says, and fills my glass halfway. I fall into the hammock that I have been knitting for years, and I watch as the sun begins to set beneath the dunes that I used to trek. And as I sip my wide-brimmed glass, my antennae slowly transform back into the nostrils with which I once smelled the boxwoods and honeysuckle. I abandon 2 limbs as the remaining 4 grow meatier by the minute. My exoskeleton inverts, revealing my vulnerable flesh. My compound eyes devolve, for I no longer need to be constantly watching, vigilant, paranoid. I sleep, not in the cocoon, for the first time in decades, knowing the hogs do not monitor my minutes. I no longer dread digging myself deeper and deeper into commitments which I cannot cater to. I let go of the fear of exterminators. My dreams will be whimsical as they once were. My nightmares terrifying, but fantastical. I will think of the things humans think of when they need not be anything else. As I drift off, my fist unclenches. I relinquish control. And now that I am no longer seen as vermin, I can stop playing the part.
Thank you so much, Jesse. And, Jesse was just telling me there that he's visiting a friend here for 1 week, and he looked up poetry events and he found Ovale and he came in. So thank you so much. I'm delighted, and yeah, well done. Fantastic. Next up we'll have Antonio Tomate.
Hello. Rhubarb Joyce. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The hen goes down. The fire in LA won't be enough. Down, down in the promised land. Body of mother, shout of father, blood of child, lost together, yet hungry of life, yet thirsty, half full is the air in the breath. Sandwich of congestion, fried chicken wings, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Without the rain, the land cannot survive. Ice cream with the rhubarb juice, the fire that burns in the chest. A slice of whiskey, sober on an early spring sunset. House refurbished, word reworded, rights vanished, injustice embedded. Cheers. Thank you.
Nice one, Antonio. Next up, we'll have Colin Scully, please.
Thanks. So when Paul told me a couple of months ago that Ovale was finishing up, I suppose the first thought that entered my head was, who's going to listen to my poetry now? So, well, all's well that ends well anyhow, so we're continuing as Ovale Gabale, so that's brilliant. This is a poem I wrote last week, which is, it's always a bad idea to read a poem you just wrote a couple of days ago. So anyway, here it goes. It's an episode from my youth. It's called I Didn't Score, but My Boots Did. When Dad, my flashy boots and I turned up to play under 18, the sun hung happy in the sky. Our shirts, the grass and I were green. I hadn't played at Phase 16 or under 10s or under 12s. I once ran with a running club for 3 months, almost beat the girls. The boots were Jim's, my sporty brother, away in college, hand-me-downs. Someone told my dad he needed players at the local ground. The next round of the championship, a mucky rural football match, I donned my boots, I donned my shirt, and took my place at cornerback. You know that feeling when unsure of where you are or what's the deal. It's crystal clear, the memory of powerlessness upon the field. My dad was on the sideline waiting. At 20 minutes I'm replaced. The fragile hopes of sporting glory slowly draining from his face. And we were down by 7 points when Georgie Murphy turned up late. Without his boots, the dugout panicked. Eyes turned to me, my shoes unlaced. He played a blinder, saved the day. The club would make another round. I see his smile, his curly mullet, throwing my boots upon the ground. and I retrieved them. We drove home. In Dad's van, silence in the cab. I thought about his sporting ventures, those trophy pictures as a lad. For me, there was a disappointment, a knock, perhaps a lesson gained. But as for him, he never mentioned not a word about the game.
Nice one, Colum. And next we'll have Michelle Delay, please.
Thank you. It was my birthday here last month and I turned 32. You don't have to do it again now. I plan to get very old. I plan to get extremely old, actually. Because you might as well. But when I look back at my 20s, I'll remember how Ovale was there every single week of every single year of my adolescence, and I'm so thankful for it and for all of you. So I dug out an old one for tonight. It's 10 years old and it's called Home. Come in, sit down. You're freezing, but the heating's on, and I would have made your bed, but it's not where you left it when you were younger in the day. You step in, a step, pressing play on the showreel of your day, and I can see it projected from the inside to the whites of your eyes when you say, "How was your day?" Forgive me, I'll digress and bypass this to untie your laces soaked in rain that you failed to step on today. Now kick them off, sit them on the porch, hang your coat at the foot of the stair and your hat the hook behind you. Next, undress. Peel away the rest and drape them on the line above the dimplex. Take off your jewelless jewellery and your fingernails and your toenails and your teeth and let them fall in the porcelain bowl in the hall. Take off your skin, pale, and pile it in the wicker basket hanging in the landing. Roll your muscle whole into one ball and stretch it the length of the room. Store your flesh in the top drawer of the bedless bedroom. I'll help dismantle your skeleton, and you mine, limb by limb, will make a fortress in the garden. With windswept skulls sat on the sill, airing out worries we leave at the will of this evening's breeze. Come in, sit down. You're beaming, but the ceiling's gone, still beaming when the sun falls, and while your mind's asleep on the mantle, you dance in the space between the stars. It's hard to tell you apart. Come morning, you stepping out from within, wear your ironed and pressed skin like linen, entering the day at her mouth, alone. Farewell, my favourite dwelling. See you when you get home. Come on.
Nice one, Michelle. Thanks a lot. Next we have this evening's 5-word challenge champion, Cathal Holden.
How are we, guys? So I would like to read a love poem from a past life. No one has heard it before. I wrote it outside La Sagrada Familia in 2019. It was a moment. This is a sestina. Do you guys know what a sestina is? Some of us do, some of us don't. A sestina goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then it goes 6, 1, 5, 2, 4, 3, and then that pattern repeats in the next one. So it doesn't rhyme, and then it is sent in the end with the last 3 lines, which contain the whole pattern. It has 3 titles. It's called Shakti, Tinacree, A Garden by Sestina. And I would have loved to run this one through the editing machine one more time, but you know what? It has to go right now. Is the moment. It's like I've like worked on this one and then I've put it away and I've picked it up to work on it again and gone nah, and I'm just gonna float into the world. Come, love. Read the palms of both my hands. Trace your fingers to tomorrow's garden. Walk there with me, lit by our own light. Lovers are the same as our two flames, becoming one, a sacred burning flower. My goddess is a fire, known as love. I was lit by others, and my love grows from ashes worked by tender hands. I tend the earth, planting love like flowers, turning earth and moon to grow my garden, to make it bloom with life's own living flame, a blazing sea of lanterns lit with light. It is so that we are made of light. Life requiting life, our need is love. So let us wander ancient darkness planting flames, and on your arching back I'll plant my hands. Let us make love in our love-lit garden. I give of my heart to you, like a flower. If you will, love, drop me like a flower. My heart has been too heavy and too light. Plant it for me, somewhere in our garden. Perhaps it will grow again to love. Or take it, beating in your hands. Give of yourself to me like a flame. Look, love, my garden is a flame. Fire runs from flower to burning flower. A coursing river sprung of both my hands. Night is as a page on which the stars are writ in light. I offer you no chains. That is not love. Let words lose all their meanings in our garden. Love is star's own fire and night's own garden, the great divine, blazing fierce as flame. I know the only burning truth is love, true and red and wild as any flower. You and I, barefoot on the earth and bearing light, a newborn day held softly in our hands. I raised for you a garden full of flowers, 1,000 blazing flames, a bed of shining light. Walk with me, love. Take my burning hands.
Unreal, Cahill. Nice one. Did particularly well as you fended off somebody trying to take your punchline there. Get the fuck. Nice one. Could we have Benjamin Burns next, please?
I continue my haiku odyssey. Yeah, well, I'm doing the 100-day haiku challenge, except I'm about 60 days in and 40 haiku, so sort of slightly failing. But I'm just going to keep going till I have 100 haiku. It doesn't really matter. Like. So I'll kind of read a selection of haiku since the last time I was here. A glass of water. Raindrops hit the window pane. There's lots in the tap. It's true, man. There's loads of this. Shivering within her big black coat, her head bent towards my shoulder. Zen cats inside us, meow, in the dark, blinking at open daffodils. Laid back, up in his cat tree, green eyes fixed on a spider upside down. A pigeon arrests her flight, lands deftly between anti-pigeon spikes. Now fat, now thin, worms set out across slick pavements in the driving rain. Tea steeps in the pot. A hubbub of voices. I let my thoughts settle. The puddle gently vibrates. A seagull in flight. The fast-moving clouds. In half dreams, magpies chatter. Silver keys rattle. The blackthorn flowers. This next one is not a haiku. It started as a haiku and then it's just turned into something else. It didn't fit in the syllables. A bullfinch tears at a sweet blackthorn blossom beside the hissing road. A single petal falls. "5 p.m. sunlight slants down the street. Long-legged shadows slip ahead. The volume of pink noise fluctuates. Cold coffee, an open window."
Thanks a lot, Ben. Nice one. Next we are going to move online and we're going to have Pam Campbell, who was very nice to have in Cork City here very recently. And glad to see that you made it home safe.
This poem that I'm going to read was published by Poets for Science. And if y'all don't know about this, I'll send it to Paul in the chat, but it's a participatory project, an installation that explores the relationship between science and poetry. So y'all send things to him. But anyway, this is called Safekeep. And Emily will probably know what I'm talking about because this was the little fawn, Emily, that I never could find words for. Anyway, Safekeep. Red, brown, glasses again. Safekeep. Red, brown, silky, soft, new life flattens, hugs earthy loam. White spots dull in dusk light. Bobcat overstepping walk, nears. Earth fawn, shallow breeze. Bobcat claws catch branch bark, sniffs. Fawn heartbeat drops, breathing slows. Bobcat pads limb length, drops and disappears in Spartina grass. Moist nose, cooled by prevailing wind, notes danger departing. Ears erect, gather quietness, swivel like radar dishes. Catches great horned owls stuttering, hoo, 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 hoo. One high in pitch, the other low. Liquid brown fawn eyes, big bright tapestry, passes light twice. Lashes droop downward with slight curve upward. Nose up, calls, mew, mew, mew. Fierce hoof thunder breaks darkness, vibrates ground under white belly. Muscular red-brown full-bodied doe stamps and snorts, shh. Draws in fawn scent and soft bleats, bay, bay, bay. Fawn wobbly leg rises, finds teat, pulls and mews. High-pitched notes like an old screen door opening and whispering shut on a summer eve. Bobcat waits. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Pam. Nice one. Next we're going to have Simon Horgan, please. So this is called, it's the first time I've ever done this, so a bit nervous. It's called, it originally was, I think, a song. Kind of, I can't sing that well, so better as a poem. There's a tower in the distance, its light draws me to it. There's a tower in the distance, its light draws me to it, and to its highest window I must go. From this tower in the distance comes the sound of subtle music and the flow of children's laughter. I am beaten by its power. So to its highest window, through the parted curtain, I must go to meet the makers of the music and the laughter. There's a tower in the distance, its light draws me to it. Its walls cast a shadow on all things that surround it, on amaranth and aster, on baby's breath and barrow, on friend and on neighbour, on the fruit of all their labour. So to its highest window, through the parted curtain, I must go to meet the makers of the music and the laughter. There's a tower in the distance, it dominates my landscape, it's all that I am seeing, it's all that I am thinking, it colours all my feeling. I must go to meet the makers of the music and the laughter. It's a strange thing in the distance, it's a strange thing that's receding, the further I am going. The light seems so much paler, and the laughter so much fainter. I wonder if the fault lies with the object or the seer. Thanks very much for sharing that with us, Simon. Nice one. On the ball. Gonna break us. We're gonna have Catherine Ronan next.
I'm going to read a poem that was published in the Stony Thursday, and I believe it's very hard to get into that, so I'm delighted.
Hey!
I'm going to read it Oscuilga first, but I'm going to try anyway, and then I'll give it to you in English. Oh shit, Julie's here. I read Gael Gore. Lower noti Kailte. Hashbon to the scardam an sour shin. Haring me im a lower noti e. Agus cuir untas mo héal fad. Cad a hóg skin ach ligigi dit furú isteach sa scá. Pógam an scar sin im a colla uanta. Rinig le cléite corvid. Brisha drim ma oid sa duch e. Lost notebook. You showed me your scar that summer. I drew it in my notebook and wondered all my life what had taken a knife would let you bleed into shadow. I kiss that scar in my sleep sometimes. Trace it with a corvid's feather, break the spine of my longing in the ink of it.
Thanks a lot, Catherine. Beautiful. And congratulations on that publication. That's great. We'll have Mona Lynch next, please.
Another first. I've never read from my phone before. Jimmy. I see him silhouetted against the sky, his cottage above the road, his garden higher again, girdled with currant bushes, black and red, gooseberries too. Sunshine blazed as with rhythmic strokes he swings the spade, clearing drills, rising to the spuds. Regimental rows of cabbage speckled with ravenous caterpillars. Fern-like foliage of carrots hiding juicy tubers. We sit on upturned drums, catching up with our worlds, breathing in the fresh scent of the earth. He scrapes his plug tobacco, fills his pipe and puffs, his soul at one with his garden. A slow world of dignity and respect. He lived to his 90th birthday, and I sat by his bed on his last day and told him of the huge beetroot I was given that day by a neighbour. With his eyes closed, he whispered, "No beetroot should be bigger than an eating apple."
Nice one, Mona. Could we have Sue Blue next, please?
Thanks very much. So, my poem today was Blue Monday's prompt. So during the lockdowns, we were actually on every Monday except for, well, I don't know, kind of, yeah, around Ovale always, but so we were very regular, and we had a prompt way back in 22 that I used here, but in the meantime I'm kind of trying to get myself to be better at smithing the metaphor. So in this poem I'm trying to symbolize or to personify the prompt. And the basis is a quote by Franz Grillparzer, German philosopher. And he said, and it's gone into language so much I didn't even know it was his statement, but we all know this statement. So the prompt was jealousy, and his saying goes, Eifersucht ist eine Leidenschaft, die mit Eifersucht was Leiden schafft. Eifersucht ist eine Leidenschaft, die mit Eifersucht was Leiden schafft. Translates to jealousy is a passion that seeks zealously what creates suffering. Green dragon. Eyes query intentions, peer control. Ice slices the soul, passion seeks woe. Spews acid bile, zeal's torture, blind, turns sword against soulmate. Stabs the heart and kills its quest, hide to flesh, stings too deep. Thorny rose scratches the face, no mercy who gives, who takes. Haunted mind is always heavy, bears only anguish and pain. You flee dismayed, I stay behind in vicious spiral, wrestle this seventh deadly skin, quell the toxic beast, pursuing love with hate, an oxymoron that can never find. Trust alone dissolves its bitter power. This fear of losing, so tender, its true source, the wish to belong. How light is love in freedom when this green dragon transcends.
Thanks, Lasse. Nice one. We'll have Julie Koo next, please.
Agus. Táim chun rud nabhghnách dhéanamh agus cúpla dáin a rá nóir scríomh. Ní mis sin fila. It's Paul Casey's book. I know, right? It's very unusual. It's unusual for a poet to read anything but their own poetry. So tonight I said I'll do that. I won't be here in April, and I thought I'd miss it because I'll actually be the other side of the world, but sure I'll be able to tune in. So yeah, I'll be up there in April, hopefully on the screen. I'm going to do 2 short poems. I, Salmon. Salmon enters me to dance through the day, to surf the silver of glee. I know I've reached immunity from nets and flies, seasons evading traps, our currents long mapped in a charter of all freedoms. Remember the words of Freud, the Irish are impervious to psychoanalysis. Sure, we laugh it off. Hey, let's be the kids we are. Let's be fools for a bit, why not? Live for the laugh. And as Michelle said there, you know, it was through your 20s, it was through my 30s. Ovail was, it was my medicine. And yeah, just eternally grateful. Ovail and binary. In this new world where words can whirl and zoom and turn from pen to ear, a sprouting of poets, a sprouting of poets.
Thanks, that's really very beautiful reading and very nice to hear your words read. Can we have Mose Jacobs next, please?
Hi, it's nice to be here, and I'm going to do what's a bit of a party piece, or maybe a part piece. It's a poem I wrote a long time ago. I totally forgot I'd written it until my late former husband pulled it up, and then the green dragon got me. I was jealous, what was he doing? And then apparently I'd written it and I forgot, which is the case in point. This one is called Sleeping. I do not suffer from verified diseases with exotic names, but I can distinguish various personalities inside my head, where I address myself as I. Get up, I tell myself. But I continue to slouch. Set to work, I shout furiously. But my eyes stay glued to the fatuous book, and I read on. At night, I argue in front of the flat screen. I want to go out. But part of me is asleep and the rest is eagerly watching anything that moves, however nonsensical. In the shower, turn off the taps. In the shower, turn off the taps! She doesn't do what I want her to. But then anyone, turns off those taps. Likewise, I can imagine that inside me are slumbering a murderer, an adulteress, a bargain seller, a betrayer of people, a prostitute or head nurse. Folks whom I do not know, but who can wake up at any moment as circumstances change. Thank you. I just want to say a little bit more. I'm sort of co-organizing for the last couple of years a place in Clonakilty called the Bar is Spoken Word, and that was actually we're a bit of the offspring of Ovail, because it was started 13 years ago by Nick Smith, inspired by Ovail, and we now, we're sort of independent by now. Tomorrow night we have we're very grateful as well. And we always love, I mean, we used to love, and I hope that's going to continue, the Coventry poets coming over to, and the Cork poets. Okay, because that's always a nice sort of interaction with people from Cork. And so it so happens that tomorrow night it's part of Irish Week. Now my pronunciation of the Irish language is atrocious because the only Irish I have is through Duolingo, and that's a weird AI American voices. But this we're going to do a Judy, Judy, please correct me. A skriert, is that sort of a skriert? Skriert, yeah. Okay, it's a social gathering. It's not my idea. She can hear it's my co-team member Emma Tierney came up with it, and it's like a social gathering by the fireside with Trat and people speaking Irish, or maybe people speaking Dutch or other weird languages, and sharing the moment and the music. Thank you. So you're all very welcome. Clonakilty, De Barras, 8:30. Thank you.
Nice one, was sound. Thank you very much for that invitation. Next up, we'll have Rob Urquhart.
Thinking about Ovale, and when I came here I was becoming an angry middle-aged man. And now I'm becoming an angry old man. Here we are. I want to give a shout out to Mags, who's kind of spectre hangs over us. And I thought to myself, I'll do one of the first poems I did when I came to Ovale, when it was back in the Cat Club, back in the way in the distant past, before most of you were born, So, houses built from cardboard, with garages stuck on. You're a bunch of silly fuckers, and you're all being conned. But never mind that. Come and get a mortgage. Dance the Barrett way, not built for tomorrow, just thrown up today. Nigel bought a wimpy house. He thought he was a toff. The day the guarantee ran out, the fucking doors fell off, but never mind that. Come and get a mortgage, dance the Barrett way, not built for tomorrow, just thrown up today. Johnny had a party, invited all his kith and kin, and when they started dancing, the fucking floor fell in, but never mind that. Come and get a mortgage, dance the Barrett way, not built for tomorrow, just thrown up today. 10-year building guarantee on a 30-year mortgage. I don't fucking think so. But never mind that. Come and get a mortgage. Dance the Barrett way, not before tomorrow. Just thrown up today. Hey.
Nice one, Rob. We have Patricia Walsh next, please.
Thank you, Kieran. It's called Electrocuted Beauty. You run, gathered from behind, and lower your status. Simplistic trash resurges in kind. Comfortably seated in a warning. A shot of informacy. The benevolent stalker rides on. Single moves for entertainment. I collate rubbish to keep in vengeful view. Our studies massacred in the beautiful skin. Being overdone with glory, still held from across. You swim for safety and attenuate loss. The local joke hit backwards again. The lost fights and never emanates a silver failure. The toppling manuscript bulges at scandal. My hardened heart circles round a corpse. The end result of repeated transgressions. Being left alone, unfriended, for a merit of peace. My addictive punishment is meat on the sly. This good behaviour coveted, but never acquired. We live our lives clean, as predicted. My eventual sense settles down on spec to resent any surveillance, however apt. My falls being more public, to floor genius, being farmed in submission, failing the worst. You're kicking in satisfaction for a job well done. By shining in a family light, laughter aside, going to step in propriety is an eventual disguise. Thanks.
Thanks a lot, Trish. Could we have Cedric Buchan next, please?
This one has been brooding for a while, you know, a little bit like a cloud, fairly dark one, though the mood is my personal mood is a lot better, but you know, like you need to have all the palette of colors to make a colorful word. So sometimes some of the tones are going to be darker than some others, and this one is about death. It's a conversation that I never had with my mother because that just did not happen. But it's inspired of things that did happen. So it's called Refuse. I stare myself down in the mirror, putting on a suit. They will probably make it look good when my time comes. You should wear those. This kind more often show the world how handsome you are. Those compliments, I wouldn't be there to receive them anyway. Just like the outfit. They feel awkward on my shoulders and weigh me down. The shoulder pads pretend for a strength I never had. You cannot go wrong with a white shirt. It's a classic. It doesn't stand out. It blends you in a crowd of strangers clad in similar fashion. A live skeletal army gathered for the one that stopped moving. I'm not dead yet, I think. She catches me rolling my eyes and loops the silk around my neck as I finish that thought. Quells my inner rebellion. What colors the minimalism of the suit cannot conceal will be contained in a chokehold. The way a trash bag keeps its content before it's disposed of, hiding its true merit. This one is to be taken in a box and buried 6 feet under after it has been exploited, squeezed out of his life, slaving away. I dare not ask Mom if, like him, do I look good? Why does this tie, accepted symbol of elegance, feel so much like a leash and a noose? Those words, I swallow them and bite my tongue. She's just lost her husband and is still proudly holding on. I shall not kill the mood. It's part of life, dear, she says without facing me. I just hope he's finally allowed to let loose, I reply. I can hear us choking our tears. So I slacken the tie. We are not dead yet.
Thanks a lot, Cedric. We'll have Bernadette Gallagher next, please.
Thanks, Kieran. So Michelle started in her 20s here,
and Julie in her 30s, and me in my 50s. And so I cut my poetry reading teeth here, and I'd like to thank Paul and all of Ovale, and I hold you all very dearly in my heart still, even though I don't really do late nights anymore. So Sheelan go bhfuil shocked in the Gaelga an seoch, because whatever you think of the Irish was difficult to understand, this is going to be Donegal Irish, so my apologies in advance. Rathmúlan. Ag arc trí an gline an líneocht pionsál, tá mé a cholú an trá, struck a blian gan ein focal a rá. Rathmullen. Beautiful beach if you ever go to Donegal. Rathmullen. Through the glass I look at the drawing beneath. I'm asleep on the beach, 30 years without saying a word. Good night.
I'm very proud. And next we're going to jump online for Clive Osman.
Hello, thanks. Okay, so anybody who's ever heard me perform, or anybody that knows me for that matter, knows that I can be a bit strange. So this poem is what happens when somebody is a bit cuckoo, is off his tits on opiates, feeling sorry for himself because there's an event he wanted to go to and he can't. And so he just writes the first thing that comes into his head just to make him feel better. And it's called That Tube. I'm so bloody tired. I can't even write sensible poetry anymore, but there's an event starting soon and I've been going to it for 4 years and only ever made sense once, for a minute or two. I'm drugged up and drowsy, but I've got to write something, or they'll think, whatever. Come on, Clive. Think obscure. Think no one will understand this, so they will assume it's deep and clever and coming from a place of great wisdom. Semolina Pilchard climbing up the Eiffel Tower. Damn, I gave that one to John Lennon, fuck it. My neighbour sneezes like he's just had his gonads put through a bacon slicer. The noise is terrifying. When I first moved in, I called the police because I thought someone was being murdered. The copper laughed and said if they had £1 for every time they'd been called out because Herbert was sneezing, we would have a properly funded police force and they would be able to investigate proper crimes like robberies. I hate it when people talk nonsense. He gets done for a breach of the peace every time he gets a cold. Rumour has it he got the flu once and his dog exploded. Not sure how that would work, but I do sometimes see him dragging a box of fireworks on a lead as if he's hoping for a replay. I know when I look after my brother's dog, I play really loud music so that it won't hear the sneezing. It's not really necessary because he's already been diffused by a vet, but the dog always sings along and got really moody when I stopped. Refused to speak to me all night. He gets the words wrong sometimes, but I haven't got the heart to tell him. He can't read, so he's not likely to find the real lyrics online, is he? My other neighbour thinks he's Donald Trump, so I had him shot by Herbert. Unfortunately, he sneezed as he pulled the trigger, and not only did he only shoot half his ear off, but lots of cats were blown into orbit. The ear grew back within a week, mysteriously, but the cats are now approaching Mars. I wish I'd listened to those who warned me that this is a dodgy neighbourhood, but eggs were cheap at the corner shop, and that drew me in. I like a nice cheap egg. But alas, all the roosters caught the flu off Herbert, and I can't get cheap eggs anymore. Fuck it. Thank you. That's me done, and I should be.
Great. We have Sophie Claire. Is it Sophie Claire? Nice. We have Sophie Claire next week.
Wow, this is my first time here. My first time as well, reading a poem. So bear with me. Lies. Graveyard your wasteland now, for sport flesh, hurricane, don't backtrack. Sweep the hidden away, hold the heaven's wrath, smother, strangle their tails that peacefully lie, stiff and dull, big and lame, that no clay in their eyes, unshut from their dreams, laden with rotten apple and sour sap, inside a false fortress can crack, that no tar in my ears can block, that no wooden skin can barricade from their scythe finding my hot face. Blow the dust off, blow hard, blow the cops away, be without respite. Hurricane, turn your gaze, face their tongues afar, be like that comet that came crashing on life. Be my hunchman, fronting my garden. Graveyard your wasteland now, for the sweet I gave. Candy wraps are dump. Candy wraps are dump on my dry heart, now house for hysterical flies, made with dirt of shame. Host no more. Theirs I am. A truth without an end is festering in my fright, beautiful and light. I see no solace soothing their dread. Open your eye, hurricane. See the lies, hurricane. We'll pull their carcass out there, back to their mouth, swollen and dry and counterfeit, back to their morass, carpeted with poems of might, of greatness, but seek, take a breath, target. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Sophie. Thank you very much. And yeah, just for anybody who's, if it is your first time here this evening, the event will continue beyond April. Ovale are going to, the board of Ovale essentially are going to maintain the event beyond April, so there will still be events here on the second Monday of every month, and we would love to see you back here and hear more poetry from you. It's very, very nice to hear your work there. Next, we're going to have Seamus Harrington, please.
Thanks, Kieran. And thanks, Mosey, for a wonderful night we had in the Barras a couple of weeks ago. And the saxophone, Mr. Band. And what Rab said back in Johnson's in the lobby, saying, I just want to thank Paul and Rosie for 18 wonderful years and all the teams in the meantime. How many events could you name who run for 50 weeks of the year? So many year in, year out. Excellent work. Fabulous. And I've only just realised it was the same year, walking along the quay in Gothenburg without knowing anything whatsoever about a tall ship. It's around the bend there was a magnificent hotel. Her name is the Viking. So this is the Viking. She'll have no truck with mock tall ships, bulimic tanks of liquid gold. I don't propose to bend a knee and never would unstep a mast to suit that bridge that hems us in to harbour years of gangway life, We'll stay secured and keep each guest their posh hotel might tumble home. My figurehead will often cast a jaundiced eye on Lego ships with cargoes boxed in vivid stacks, bad-mannered ribs and soap dish boats that skim across our basin berth, and towering hulks decked out in glass where bubbling pools of idle rich old landsmen soak their golden hinds. Her secret wish has always been return again to naval days, the thrill and ring of ordered steps, the manifest of fresh cadets to line the yards, parade of sail. Those forecastle airs of every ilk, our master's voice across the poop, and gimbaled hours away offshore. The soundless mitt, a boatswain's pet, his musing gaze as flying fish play and break about my lee cat head. In distant roads the windless song, transcendent moon her ebb and flow, we'd love to seek a further voyage, secluded shores I've yet to trace, like sights within the Piper's sound. And yes, I miss this canvas press, feel foot ropes dance where topmen tread. At harbour's mouth, a lash of salt to rinse my plunging plimsoll line. A creaking sheave, the quiet routine, ice broken clear in furrowed drills, the scything wind at each crow's nest, a field of wheat discharged at last. Thank you. And thank you, Father.
Thanks a lot, Seamus. We'll have Philip Spillane next, please.
Thank you. Short disclaimer, I was given this downstairs. It's a small pocket book. It looks like reminders and not poetry. I think it was left here for a good while because it's only going back to 2024. Like the end of 2024. If this is yours, let me know. It's not poetry. It's reminders. I'm not going to read out reminders. His handwriting is pretty personal as well. Like only he could read it, or they could read it, or she can read it, or whoever can read it. Anyway,
Like a prescription.
That could be a clue in the right direction. All right. Maybe you can take a look at it and you probably get a better idea than I am. Anyway, I'm going to do a short poem, and I'm going to go into something else. I fix computers, and I pick mushrooms. Most of the time, at the same time. Thank you. It's just what I listen to a lot. It's not. I only took magic mushrooms twice, and the second time I don't think it quite worked. Anyway, this is to Emer Hayes, who introduced me to Ovale, who is an awesome writer, and I hope she goes back to it. I gave her a little quick message and a quick update, let you know what's going on, and she's still out there, and she's still keeping it cool. So yeah, this is to Emer Hayes. Upon my head grows memory hair, and where I step grows fungi. So I walk in a circle, letting them bud out, crisp, white, and spongy. And slowly, while they age and grow, they become stone, a stone circle, more profound and amplified like mystic and fire. Because they somehow echo the moon sunline. In my own dream track, I backtrack to the spot, retracing the old mushroom road I laid long before. While I was younger, with a rainbow cloak, and my antlers branched out, smothered with leaves of amber. Because of age to become bold, I've lost my memory hair. Becoming weary in my troubles, I ghosting younger orange remains, becoming useless and lost. And what's fearful is, I feel myself falling more. I feel like the reaper, walking on Gaia's turf bosom. Until I reincarnate. Thanks.
Mad Fib. Nice one. And for our penultimate reader tonight, we're going to have Alexandra Toth. Well, you were just not giving her jobs. Stop giving her jobs. Like, she has to go out and do the poem.
Alex, that's you. That's you.
Oh, she heard. Always on the beat and never off it. I love it. Fair play. I know, it's fair play. You gotta attend to business, like. Fair play. On the ball.
Keeping the Long Valley going.
Come on, girl. Keeping the Long Valley going all these years. Like.
Every penny counts. So I haven't read a Hungarian poem in a very long time, so that's what I came with today. And so I've always known that I would end up writing a poem for my grandma because of like how important she is to me and like the emotional connection I have with her. And I moved away when I was 2 from Hungary, so she is the only family member that consistently kept in contact with me. And like whenever I was in a very off mood emotionally, I would kind of like call her and then her voice would like instantly calm down. So this is about a poem about how much I miss her, and it kind of dives into like childhood memories from like the house, the garden, and like the terrace and things like that. So I have the translated versions of which I will read after. So this poem is called Kincsem Nekem, which basically translates to treasure to me. And ever since I was a baby, that's what she called me, so treasure to me. Kincsem Nekem, messze vagy, túl messze, hiányzol. Hiányzol, mint a szőlő lugas a teraszon, fénysugarakkal világított édes gyümölcse. Hiányzol, mint a metsző olló, mit nékem adsz. Ahogy nézed kis kezeimet, hogy szebbé varázsolja el lugas Amazon leveleit. Hiányzol, mint a pöttöm uborka a kertben, ahogy öntözzük sárga szirmait kannával teli vízzel. Hiányzol, mint a frissen sütött fánk, üvegpohárral szaggatott tészta, barack lekvárral édesítve. Hiányzol, mint a napraforgó virág a felső kertben, minek minden szirma tükrözi a napnak a sugarait. Hiányzol, mint az ümmögő hűtő a folyosón, ahogy elringatja gondolataimat, mint az imádság, mit éjfélkor mondasz. Csak hiányzol. Hiányzik a hangod, a nevetésed, a nyugtató lelked, hiányzik még a horkolásod is. Bárcsak ott lehetnék veled, hisz nekem lelki nyugalom kell. Néha fájdalmas az élet. Jól vagyok, de nem mindig. Felhívlak, mert hiányzol, hangod dallama, ahogy lenyugtat engemet, a drága mamám. Örökké lelkemben leszel, egy lakat a szívemben, egy kincs az életemben. Hiányzol, ahogyan átölelsz és suttogva mondod, kincsem nekem. And then this would be the translation. Treasure to me, you are far, too far. I miss you. I miss you like the grape arbor on the terrace, its sweet fruits illuminated by the glowing light. I miss you like the pruning shears you offer to me, as you watch my tiny hands make the Amazon green leaves more ravishing. I miss you like the miniature cucumbers, how we feed its yellow blooming flowers with the can of water, letting it flourish in the summer brown soil. I miss you like the freshly baked donuts, carved with the blue tinted glasses, filled with sweet peach jam. I miss you like the sunflowers in the front garden, how each petals mirror the rays of the sun. I miss you like the humming fridge in the corridor, how it rocks my swirling thoughts to a slumber, like the midnight prayers you sing to me. I miss you. I miss your voice. I miss your laughter, your peaceful soul. I even miss your snoring. I wish I could be there with you, for my soul to find peace again. Life is painful at times. I am okay, but not always. I call you because I miss you, to hear the lullaby in your voice, how it calms me down instantly, my darling mama, which is like grandma in Hungarian, like in villages basically. You will forever be a part of my soul, a lock in my heart, a treasure in my life. I miss you as you embrace my body, whispering in my ear, treasure to me. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Alex. Beautiful. It's really beautiful. So it's a bit of a no-win, no-fee situation for you now, Paul, right? Because this is a new poem, but if you don't like it, you can just tear strips off it next week when we meet, you know, because you're my mentor.
I might start tearing strips off right now.
Well, we'll see. Keep
it coming.
Poem for Paul.
Tear it all off.
That's all about Trumpian.
I am walking back to Okerel to continue what we started, to see if the water is still as fresh as we left it, the cast iron paella pan still as large and as round, to walk the forest where we saw that transcendent dance, hear the wind through the leaves and the pine, walk onto the stage in the courtyard of the farmhouse where we performed, hear the wolves howl. Such inspiration to Eugeo Novenera, whose life and work you taught me about the last time we were here. To hold a chestnut in the palm of my hand, assess the damage of the wildfires, look out over the mountains to the horizon. Broader now, thanks to you, not the first river we swam in either, basking in spring sun in Vaumontant, swimming and laughing with that crew of Welsh singers. Brought here as part of Paul Casey's squadron of Cork poets, reading homegrown work in a classic French theatre. Chapters were turning in my life as we sat in the Japanese garden, blossoms teaching lessons on the passing of time. Or sent on espionage with Stan Knott, behind enemy lines on a brokering mission to Coventry, sharing work at the Peace Festival, and just as well, contemporary Irish poetry shared across English airwaves, peacekeeping in a city levelled by the Blitz, where the Good Friday Agreement hangs on the wall of the Lord Mayor's office, preconceptions and stale prejudice melting in the Two-Tone Museum, madness in the mind's eye. When I parted with the last copy of the chapbook you published, the first time I'd seen my work grouped in ink, you reprinted it for free. It meant nothing and everything, those words now available in the city of my birth, PG, BC, CA. How else to thank you but to keep saying thank you for the expansion of my mind and soul, connecting me to a global poetry community, weekly passionate philosophy, monthly musings. It's one thing to answer a call, but another to create a call to answer. I've never seen it done so completely, with such grace. The detail, the structure, the spirit, ideals as clear as Galician spring water. Remember, we had that epic fight in the Glen Park. You thought I was being an arrogant prick, and I thought you were being an arrogant fuck. And we let each other know in so many words, two ferocious tempers facing each other like two mirrors fit to crack across the path on an otherwise peaceful Tuesday afternoon. Local dog walkers apologizing for interrupting us. You insisted we find the cause to the effect, and so we did, and like good readers, turned the page, hugged it out, and came back to ourselves. Sláinte Macara, brother, father figure, friend, mentor, teacher, sailor, soldier. And Paolo, you always get this story wrong, so I said I'd better put in a definitive version to it before it gets bent out of shape, oh veil go veil. A man walks into a bar, well, not legally, just a boy really, asks the girl there for a pint, she puts it on without a second thought. She's still in earshot when one of these college-educated poetry types strikes up a conversation, introduces himself. So what do? He asks. Oh, Vale's first test for the imagination. I said it wouldn't do to say that I'm in school, might jeopardize my settling pint. Draw unwanted attention to the IDs that I don't carry. So, with slight hesitation, I cast my mind a year to the future. In UCC, doing music and English rolled off the tongue like it was really happening. More a promise than a lie. Had to colour in a few more details, but I got my pint, sat down the back, and so it began. Met the faces, listened. On the open mic, said a poem called The Strive. 17 years old and 14 ago. What a time to be alive. Sláinte, gonna uckle os dovel taréis ovel. Beg seansanna am conna veg lewer tarishan shaw. Toma chria stockart, mila breakis, sláinte macara. Sinna bhfuil Macarda slán inis agus gur míle maith agribh go léir. What a very pleasant evening, and yeah, it was yeah, so nice to share it with you all. And yeah, as the announcement said a while ago, we'll be back next month for the ultimate edition, man. The ultimate edition. But yeah, just a huge thank you again to our two guests for the fantastic readings, to Emily Davis Fletcher and James Harpur. Thanks a lot to Alex and to the Long Valley for having us. I'm sure there'll be a good crew heading over to Mainz there shortly. If you would like to continue chewing on the fat of those words that we all shared together. But yeah, thank you to Paul for everything. And small you there, Mila Wavis.
Oh, look at that. And Alex. Alex. Like, No, that
way over time, right? Yeah. It's like 2 plus 12.
How are you feeling? Are you tired? Yeah, I know. I just sent a text message. That's crazy. I went over at the moment, but I chopped you a message here. We'll chat.
Oh yeah, I got you when the event.
Oh, I do want to come and take part. I'd love to take part. What poems, I'm not political poet. I do have some things to say anyway. There you go.
That's what we're looking for.
No, it's creeping into my poetry, as I said, but I'd love to take part. Even for about 5 minutes or something like that would be great. And be in touch about the podcast. I think it might be just you, actually. Yeah. Let you know about that. We have a chat. We can talk about what went down in March, actually.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That'd be great. I want to bring politics into it anyway, so that it comes into writing anyway. But this will be wasting your time. I feel it now. Even if it's just telling myself, I feel it not missing. I didn't quite understand it yet. How many times do you get home safe, okay? Next thing you don't have many kinds of things. Is that an old one or if you don't mind me asking.
Yeah, I know. I had to tell a couple of other people, they're like, what? Because it wasn't like that, you know? They had concealed this information. Pressure. Well, it's okay if it's in Ireland. This is legal.